Good evening, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. Welcome to the Arm Wrestling Buzz, episode 14. We got a good one lined up tonight. First, let me mention of our sponsors, griparmsports.com. If you haven't already, get over to their site, check out all their arm wrestling products, bunch of clothes. They got straps, all the arm wrestling stuff you want, they got over there. Use the code Italia15, receive 15% off everything. Also, shout out to VitaCell Biologics, stem cell therapy. I'll have in the description if you want to get hooked up and go talk to a doctor. If you're having some nagging pains or whatever, we'll get you hooked up with some stem cell therapy. Also, shout out to gripzilla.com. Get over to Gripzilla. They got some great arm wrestling handles. Use the code Paul10, receive 10% off. With that being mentioned, I'd like to introduce tonight's special guest. We got a legend in the house, Bob Brown, and we got Ian the Grippler Carnegie from Canada. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing well.
We got the normal Arm Wrestling Buzz crew in the house. We got Tom the Arm Wrestler. What's up, Tom?
What's up, guys?
We got Josh from Grip and Rip. Pradeep will be joining us. Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News should be on in the next 20, 30 minutes. So, fellas, I am so happy to have these guys on tonight. We got some real OGs in our sport. Bob Brown, he's been around a lifetime in arm wrestling. He's been the foundation of the beginning. Ian's been around for like close to 20 years himself. So I just want to kind of get into, how did you guys find arm wrestling? Starting off you, Bob, how long you been in and how did you find arm wrestling?
Well, I've been in it since the early 80s. Probably like most of us, growing up in grade school and high school, I never lost. I just beat everybody. Really had no idea why, but I did, and then I used to go to this fair where they didn't even charge anything. I saw there was an arm wrestling tournament there. They didn't charge anything to enter. They had 3 weight classes. They didn't weigh you. They just said, "Oh, you look like a lightweight," and I won that every year. So naturally, I just think I'm the greatest thing in the world. And then I'm driving by a bowling alley, and I see arm wrestling tournament. So I go in, and this was probably 84, 5-ish. Well, this tournament, it was quite a bit different. It was costing money to get in. They were weighing everybody. This was a much different scene. And I entered a novice class because they had novice and open. And I get second place in a really hard war. So I still think I'm great. And then I go back 3 months later. I enter the open division. They let me slide 3 pounds to get into the 165s. And I proceed to get destroyed, 2 and out. Well, back then they had sit-down nationals and stand-up nationals, and the sit-down nationals were in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And so I found out about them about 3 months ahead of time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to kill these guys. I'm going to the gym. I'm working out every day. And got what I thought my arms were real strong, went down there, 2 and out. Could not believe it. I go over to a side table. And this guy who was in my class, he's one arm wrestle, sure. He just kills me. I'm like, I don't understand, man. I never lost. What's going on? And he says, use back pressure. I'm like, what's that? And so he shows me. And in about 5 minutes, I went from getting smashed by this guy to beating this guy. And I really wish I knew who it was. I'm sure anyway, I don't know who it was. But it took me about 5 minutes to beat this guy. And he taught me how to do it. And I'm like, oh, my God, I just got to learn how to arm wrestle. And I hooked up with Mike Mignona, who happened to live about 10 minutes from my house. I didn't even know him at the time. I met him at the Nationals. He was the one putting on the Nationals. And that was the beginning. I just started going to practice and traveling around.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Ian, I want to hear your story into how you found arm wrestling and how long ago was that?
Well, there was a high school arm wrestling championship, right? And I was like in grade 11. And, no one really saw me as like a big, strong guy because I was actually a basketball player in high school. So I had like more of a svelte athletic body. But I always knew that I was strong because I had done amateur wrestling and, I played every sport known to man. So I was just like, I'll enter it. Right. So there was, back then we had in Ontario a thing called OAC, which was basically grade 13. And it was extra credits to help you like get ready for university. Right. So I was in grade 11 and I beat everybody, all the football players, all the rugby players, all the, rock climbers, all the, and I was just like this skinny guy, about 5'11", 6 feet. And people were like, what the fuck, right? But I knew that, I'd always had that in me to like grip people when I was, hey, my dad was 6'5", and I was always like trying to arm wrestle him, and he'd just keep his hand and wrist. He was one of those guys that believed that you didn't move, you just did this. So, that was kind of how he would hold me. And I guess around 16, I started beating him. And then, so after that, there was nothing like, I was kind of disappointed because like, I didn't know about any leagues or anything. So I joined the Army and I got into like, I played base basketball, and then this thing called tug of war came up. I'm like, what's that? And we all know like tug of war, pulling on a rope, but it's actually an organized sport too, right? So it has a lot of development in the hands and wrists and forearms and stuff. And so I started doing that. And then all of a sudden I was at the base gym one day, and I'll take a step back. I went to Afghanistan. I started arm wrestling everybody there. I'd go to the American base. I started arm wrestling all their big MPs, and I was beating everybody. But I had a neighbor. His name was Donnie LeBlanc.
Ian, I don't mean to cut you off, but where would you guys arm wrestle? You had an arm wrestling table on the base? Or?
You know what barrack boxes are? Like in the military, you see like guys with these green boxes. They put all their shit and then they travel with it. So we'd stack 3 of them. It's about the height of an arm wrestling table.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So you grab the barrack box, you just rip and rip, right? And there was absolutely no technique. It was all like that shoulder roll hook shit, right? And or cafeteria tables, whatever was available, we'd make it happen. But I had this neighbor, and he was over at 1 RCR. I was at 3 RCR, and Devin used to be 1 RCR before he went to the JTF, right? And he kept saying, he's like, you're a good, strong arm wrestler, but you're no Devin Larratt. And I kept hearing this name, Devin Larratt, for like 2 years. I was beating everybody. Troy Goodfellow, he was like the 8th strongest guy in Canada for strongman competitions. And I beat him. So anyway, finally, I'm at the base gym, and I get word that there's this arm wrestler guy putting on an arm wrestling event for the soldiers. So I was playing basketball. I come out to the lobby, and it's all set up. Eric Roussin is there, Alan Ford is there, and Devin Larratt. And I'm like, okay, without ever seeing Devin, it was clear that that's the guy. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay. So he sets the arm wrestling event up. I go in it in the heavyweight division, and I win left and right. No problem, right? And so I want to challenge Devin, but I don't want to be that guy, because they had announced him as, top arm wrestler in Canada, ranked this in North America, blah, blah, blah. And so I don't want to be that guy, but I wanted a piece of him, right? And so he gives me this plaque, the award, and I'm kind of sheepishly walking away. And then he says to me, he says, hey, young man, so about 24, 25 at the time. He's like, do you want to play a bit? I'm like, yeah. In my head, I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, because I've been hearing Donnie LeBlanc, Devin Larratt. So we get to the table, and he says to me, he says, listen, you're really strong. He goes, but you're strong enough to break your own arm. So I want you to go about 75% when you're pulling me. And understand this, I was at the time on that tug of war team, and I had built myself up from like a 215-pound basketball player body to about 256, and I could still dunk the basketball. Okay, so I was athletic, and I was bigger than Devin. Do you get what I mean? Because Devin at that time was maybe 225, right? And if he's not going like this, you're not, you know what I mean? I was like, this dude is like a lanky basketball player, and he's telling me to ease up, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, of course he wants me to ease up. He doesn't want to lose to a nobody, right? And so I grip up, and Alan or Eric, I forget who was the ref, he just kind of squares us up, and he goes, go. So I hit as hard as I can, right? And it stops. And I'm thinking, finally, I have some competition. Like, I'm thinking I'm in the driver's seat because, like, you know what I mean? It's down to about the 45. So I'm thinking, yeah. So I start upping my pressure, start trying to get the shoulder in, the pec, everything. And I'm like, fuck, this thing is not moving at all. And then I look up, Devin is like, good. Try up pressure. He takes his left hand off the peg, and he's like, give me some up. So my whole body is on top of his arm, and he's just sitting there like that, right? And I'm like, I'm about to have an out of body experience right now, because at this point in my life, I had never seen a peer. He's 5 years older than me, but I never, like, all through high school, no one was as strong as me. I never had, do you get what I mean? Like a challenge. By the time I was 16, I was stronger than my dad. Well, at arm wrestling. So I was just like, it was crumbling. My world was crumbling, right? And sweat's flying off my head, and I keep upping it. Jody calls. Back then, it was the flip phone. He grabs his flip phone, starts taking a call. Okay. So I'm like kind of crying. Like, when you're in a fight and you don't know how to handle emotions, like you're like, ah, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's kind of going on with me. I'm like, this is insane. And so I'm pulling, and eventually, the hand just blows up, the forearm. And I have more. He doesn't pin me. He felt sorry for me. I felt like, it's like, that was the worst. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God. So I take a step from the table. He's like, yeah, man, you okay? You pulled pretty hard there. I'm like, yeah, but like, there's something going on with my arm. It was just throbbing. It's like, do you want to try again? I'm like, yes, of course, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, that had to be something. I must not have hit as hard or whatever. Same deal. Boom, doesn't move. And then I'm like shocked. So he's like, look, before you go, let's exchange some numbers, and we'll have you come to the club. I think you have a lot of potential. And of course, I don't want to hear any of that. Like, I'm like, right now, everything I believed about myself just went out the fucking window. Do you get what I mean? Like, everything I thought that I was turned out not to be true, right? So, I had a real life crisis. I went home, and I put behind me in the bathtub because they were screaming, and I was like crying, and my woman at the time was like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I lost in an arm wrestling match. She's like, get over it. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, it wasn't that he beat me. It was that he was so much stronger than I was that I couldn't comprehend. I couldn't believe that there's a man out there that was that much stronger than me. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that just didn't make any sense. And of course, I got the real shock when I started going to the club, and all the heavyweights were like at this table, middleweights, and then lightweights. And he's like, so, hey, Ian, thanks, because it was about an hour and a half drive from where I was in Petawawa to Ottawa, where he was living by the airport at the time. And the club is down in his basement. And he says to me, hey, why don't you go and learn from this guy over here? His name's Yvon Clement. He'll get you started on all the basics. And that pissed me off because I wanted to kind of play with the big boys, right? Like all the guys my size.
And he's sending you over to the beginners table over there.
The little boys table.
Yvon Clement was 45 at the time. I'm 25. I'm jacked at this point, right? He is about 100, I would say like a 165 guy. And he's old. Like, I'm almost 45 now, but I'm 43. So he was like older back then when I was 25. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I grab him, and I'm like, I try the typical, hook shoulder press thing. My fucking arm doesn't move from center. He's just like, back pressure, low hand top roll. My hand, I couldn't cup, nothing, right? And I'm like, what? So I had about an hour of that learning and them trying to say, do this and that. And I don't want to listen to that. I just like arm wrestling to me was a truck pull, grab, go, right? That's like who you're strong. I didn't want to hear about this fucking bullshit or whatever.
What's so funny, bro, is we all have our story of our first time of being humbled, and I think that's what it comes down to. And it's like, at least you can say, I got humbled by Devin Lorette. I was on the other boat where I'm that bodybuilder living in the gym, and I run into this couple, and they're just like, yeah, we got practice this Sunday. Why don't you come arm wrestle? You look like, so I'm like, oh, that's even a thing. Well, little Nancy Locke, 125 pounds, humbled me. So I'd much rather say that Devin Lorette did it, to me. But hold on, guys. Before I got to catch up on some super chats right now. We got a $5 super chat from Arm Wrestling Derek Smith. Support badasses on the show. Thank you very much, Derek. I appreciate you tuning in. And we also have, where did Caroline's go? Okay, here we go. Caroline Loomis, $5. Hi, Paul. Do we have any details on the Twinkie match? And will it be part of a tournament? Great show. You'll all rock. Yeah, Caroline, things are locked in. I can't announce anything right now, but the promoter, I believe, is going to be announcing in the next week or so. I believe flyers are being made and all, and he'll be letting you all know everything. So that's just so anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about. I am pulling Ryan Grandin. He's like 400 pounds, whatever. Me and him got some beef. Going to handle it on the table. So that'll be being announced soon. And then we got another $5 super chat from X1348, Jerry Baby, LFG. Get behind our guy, USA. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And I actually think Jerry will be popping on soon to say a quick hello to everybody. But thank you for that story, and I really appreciate it. And Bob, same thing, bro. I love the having OGs in the house and hearing these great stories of how it all began.
Well, what's interesting about back then versus today, because of the internet, is back then, every guy that ever showed up to a practice thought they were going to kill everybody, and then they lost to everybody, and we never see them again. I mean, that was the story back then. Today, everyone shows up to practice generally knowing they're about to get beat, and they know how to arm wrestle before they even show up because they got the internet now. So it's actually kind of nicer now. We don't have to deal with as many egos as we used to back then.
Bob, I got to ask you, bro, what was the state of arm wrestling back then? Was it bigger than it is now? Was it well known? No, it was still in the underground. And
well, yeah, I mean, without, arm wrestling has grown tremendously since back then. And here's how I judge that it's grown. I think there's more people arm wrestling today than back then. There were fewer tournaments, and the tournaments, probably some of them had way better turnouts. Back then, all tournaments, you found out about them about a flyer. You had to get on a mailing list. And I'd get on, I'm from New Jersey. So back then I got on every mailing list within an 8-hour driving radius of me. And I could maybe hit a tournament one a week or one every other week. And that's in all the New England states. Shoot, now, just in the New England area, you might have 2-3 tournaments every weekend. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but there's 5 tournaments in the country, 6 tournaments in the country every single weekend. So I know the sport is growing.
See, that's the only thing I question that, because I just saw like in, the Petaluma Wrist World Wrestling, they used to have 1,500 people in an auditorium. Like there was just standing room only. So
yes.
Is it because there was a lot less tournaments? Is that what you're saying? So, everybody had to go.
Yeah, there was a lot less tournaments. Everyone wanted, back then, the Petaluma one, let's face it, everyone just wanted to be on TV. I mean, everyone just wanted to be on TV. That was a single elimination tournament, and it was all about television, but, I mean, the reality is back then there could have been 20 tournaments every single weekend, and you would just never know because there's no internet. And if you didn't get a flyer, then, you didn't know. I mean, I can go back as far as, the mid 80s, and in all in the New England area, from Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, all the way up to Maine, there was maybe one tournament a weekend, maybe, but I think there's quite a bit more now. I think if you could actually add up the number of arm wrestlers today versus back then, I think there's more now.
Yeah,
That's great. That's
And
definitely great to hear.
for me, flyers was this thing when I first started, but what also started around that time, Bob, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Northeast board started, and that became where we got our information from.
Where everyone went.
What year was the actual year you started, just so we know what time we're talking about?
2005 was when I won the Army arm wrestling thing. Then my very first actual arm wrestling event was in 2005, but it was the Battle of the Capital, the one that Tim Bresnan came up to face Devin. I don't know if you guys know that. And that was a professional tournament, and I got fucking annihilated. So I went home, kind of like what Bob said, with most guys with huge ego, tuck tail and you never see them again. But, guys liked me on the team, and they were like, look, this is normal. You're not a shit arm wrestler. You just don't know what you're doing yet. You come back, train, take your lumps, and things will progress for you. And so I had to drop some ego, and and then the Northeast board was like super entertaining too, because like Bob, you probably know this, like when you get new guys who start getting it, like, oh, this is a top roll, and the lights start going on, like a born again Christian. Now they're just fucking obsessed with the sport because they believe they understand it, and they want more knowledge and more knowledge. So I was fucking on that board, like probably had relationship issues because I was on there, and I everything that was being said on there, oh fuck, screw you, you know what I mean? Like it just got like it was a cesspool. But they had different threads, and one of them was upcoming events. And that's how I ended up going down to the States, because you don't want to go down to the States on a flyer, and then all of a sudden there's no internet and nobody calls you to say, oh, it got canceled. Now I'm showing up to fucking Norfolk, wherever, and there's no tournament, right? So the Northeast board was one of those things, and you could see the updates. Yeah, it's still a go. Okay, well now I'm gonna fork my money out and head down there.
So, guys, I want to touch on this past weekend. We had a great event go down, and that was King of Table. And I just kind of want to get everybody's opinion on the overall event to begin with, because, there's a lot of controversy kind of in the community if it should have been more matches than the 3 that there were. But before we get in that, let me just catch up real quick on these super chats. We got a $2 super chat, Paul Italia Cigar. It's great to see Big Bad Bob on the show. Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate that. And then we have Proving Astrology 9.99. Thanks for the origin stories. Thank you very much for that super chat. Really appreciate that. So want to get overall, what was first off, did you guys both watch King of Table? Did everybody watch King of Table?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. I watched it.
Bob, what's your thoughts on the 3 super matches pay-per-view? Do you think it needs more than the 3? And what'd you think of the matches?
I thought the matches were great. People always get upset when the matches aren't close. Well, the reality is 95% of all matches aren't close. But when Michael Todd called me and we were talking about pay-per-view, or he does it with sponsorship money at the Monster Michael Todd Factory, I told him, I'm like, he wanted to do 10 matches, but it would cost too much money to get 20 arm wrestlers there. And my first reply was, well, why would you pay arm wrestlers to come to your event if they're not going to be a big draw to your event? There's no reason you can't have 3, 4 paid matches, and we'll call that the main card, but then, and do a pay-per-view or whatever, but then have 10 more matches where you're not paying the competitors anything, because there are thousands of arm wrestlers that would fly to Dubai on their own freaking dime just to arm wrestle on that card, and they could have had 4 undercards for nothing at no additional expense. So while I understand the financial aspect of it, which is why they only have 3 main cards or 3 main matches, I think they're missing the fact that there's a lot of guys that go on their own dime. And some of those matches will be a lot more exciting, and you can introduce more arm wrestlers. So yes, they should have had more matches, but there's no need to pay for all those matches.
What's the magic number though? How many? How much is too many super matches, and how much is just right?
For a pay-per-view, I think the magic number is 5. To me,
is
that's
that
the
for you appealing to like casual viewers? Because someone who's like a serious arm wrestler and like obsessed will watch like 10. Like me, for example, I'll watch 10 straight, you know?
Right. And I would do 5. Now I'm thinking from a business perspective. Ingun Tirzy, he'll have 10. So let's just say it's 20 arm wrestlers, even though I realize it might be a little less. Well, he's paying every single one of these, which means if he don't hit it out of the box every time on the pay-per-view, he might end up going bust. Where if he only had 5, that means he's only paying for 10 guys. And then for all of us crazy people, have another 5 that are free. I mean, Tom, you're potentially a perfect example. Okay. And I realize everyone's finances are different. But if they called you up and said, Tom, we want to give you an undercard in Dubai on King of the Table, but you got to come on your own dime, would you do it?
You know the answer. You know the answer.
Of course.
Oh, okay. I don't know with Tom. Tom was pretty stern on he wanted to get paid on just the cards around here, but I guess
but that's an irrelevant match with Freddie Sanchez. We're talking about King of the Table.
You're talking about King of the Table. All of a sudden,
big difference.
It's a big difference, So that's my point. You can get some really good guys.
But I also look at it from this way. I think the format that you said, Bob, I think it works for a thing like the Monster Michael Todd factory thing. I think that works there, especially if it's drawing mostly North American viewers, because those lesser, I don't want to like demean them, but let's say the lesser known athletes are probably be somewhat known, at least locally, right? And there's a little bit of a draw, like the UFC does the undercard free, and then the pay-per-view is separate. So I agree with that. But I think when we're looking at if we're saying that East versus West is one of 2 of the top leagues in the world, and KOTT is kind of like the Super Bowl of whatever has happened at East versus West. I don't know if that's how it is, but I'm thinking like, you know what I mean? If you're a rock star over at East versus West, you're getting the call to do KOTT. Would you guys agree with that? And at KOTT, we don't really need an undercard. 5 matches, boom. Whether they're hits or miss, it's irrelevant, but because we know, and what we're buying is anyone that's at KOTT, they're the fucking cream of the crop. And if it's a blowout, well, they didn't train. But something like the Monster Michael Todd thing, if he's worried about finances, then have your headliners, right? And then you have all these other guys to fill up arm wrestling junkie like yourself, right? And if Engen, maybe the pay, I don't know. Again, I don't ask personal questions about how much people are making over there, but I agree that yes, you could probably get guys to go there on their own dime or at very little. But we still want those dudes to be at a professional level, right? I'm not interested in watching guys that are local talent over there, even if it's a banger, because I'm like, I've been retired basically. I'm just coming back to the sport. I don't want to be sitting there thinking, Yeah, but I mean, I beat this guy just getting off the couch. That
right,
wouldn't mean.
but the problem is when you're trying look at UFC, they have 5 headliners and then 10 undercards. Look at boxing, 3 headliners and 10 undercards, because the target market is not arm wrestlers. If all King of the Table and East versus West is trying to get pay-per-views from arm wrestlers, they're all going to go out of business.
But Bob,
okay.
This question, because you just gave 2 examples. Do we want people watching these matches, or we just want to have these matches? Because I'll tell you, boxing and UFC is a good example. As if you watch the prelims, there ain't fucking nobody there. There's nobody there.
Yeah, but you're trying to tend to 2 markets. You're trying to get the diehards like us.
Yeah, the hardcore people will still watch the prelims.
Yeah,
UFC.
We want to see those prelims.
It doesn't matter that no one's in the audience.
Yeah,
I mean, no one's in the audience at King of the Table. There's like 20 people there. No one's in the audience at East versus West, other arm wrestlers and the 10 guys that had the VIP to go there. You know, not really. I mean, if you're trying to work a business model on getting people to show up to an event, it doesn't work. But you
want to see like undercard level polls at East versus West? Do you think
you're thinking like an arm wrestler, not like an arm wrestling fan.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I want arm wrestling fans. The people that watch UFC don't fight. They just like fighting. I want people to like arm wrestlers and like the people in arm wrestling. For example, I am one of at the Monster Factory. I've had success and my matches get watched a decent amount. I'm not an elite arm wrestler anymore. I'm a well-known arm wrestler, but I'm not an elite arm wrestler. But the fans still like the story of the old gray hair guy making a comeback, so they'll pay to watch it, right?
Just like they do in the UFC. Yeah, it's about that character development. People can attach themselves to it as a fan and enjoy it.
Yes, that's perfect. Didn't think about that. Character development. Perfect words. That's what the undercard is for East versus West and KOTT.
Well,
and it could be a potential future like recruiting grounds for athletes who are like on the rise, potentially making the main card.
Guys, we have a fan in the room, so let's get his perspective, and that being Josh from Grip and Rip. Josh is not an arm wrestler. He's a fan. He's a diehard fan. He knows everybody and all. So let's kind of get your perspective on that coming from the fan, bro.
Well, I mean, the fan who's going to watch anything and everything. So if there is an undercard with a bunch of nobodies, I'm going to watch it because I want to know who they are, because 2 years from now, they could be the biggest name in the sport. But, not everyone's like me. Like East versus West, I'll sit there from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. watching 8 hours of fucking arm wrestling with steak on the grill next to me, just drinking beer. That's what I do. And everyone's like, all my friends like, how do you sit there for 8 hours watching arm wrestling? I'm fucking hooked.
I do it with a beer in my hand.
Right.
Your own.
Hey guys, I got to just read this super chat I missed before from X1348 for $2. Please, more than 3 matches, even newbies is fine. So yeah, a lot of the fans, they just want more matches and everything.
Yeah, they confirmed pretty soon after that they're going to have 5 moving forward.
Yeah,
if you think about the pay-per-view model, East versus West is having, say, 10 to 12 matches. They're charging $15, where King of the Table's having 3 matches. They're charging $16. That means more people have to be paying in to watch East. And in theory, this is all theory. In theory, more people are paying enough money, enough pay-per-view buys to support 10 matches, whereas King of the Table may have to charge a little more to pay their guys. So there may not be as many people buying into King of the Table versus East versus West. But I think that's because East versus West is a bigger name right now, too, in my opinion.
We got another $5 super chat from Caroline Loomis. Bob, you're legit elite and exciting. Monster Factory showman. Thank you very much, Caroline, for that super chat.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He definitely is. But I want to get into the actual matches, guys. There was a couple of them. A lot of people were saying they were mismatches, but I just want to remind everybody there was a couple matches that had to go down. And that being first off, the Artem Morozov versus Corey West, left hand for the best guy on the planet. We had to figure that one out. Now, did everybody expect Artem to win the way he did in such dominant form over Corey? Let's start off with Ian on this one.
The way he won, no. That he won, here's what I was thinking. I believe, and I'm a heavy guy as well. So, but I think Corey is going to struggle at that elite level at the back end of most matches due to the fact that he's not fit. You know what I mean? He needs to drop some weight, and Morozov is coming in looking like a super muscular Devin Larratt, right? Like he's lean, he's got energy, and so that he would win. I thought Corey was stronger than Morozov. I really did, and I thought he would win the first two, and then Morozov would stop him, and then it would go that way, right? That's how I saw it. So, guess what we really saw was that Morozov is actually
a level above. Yeah. Bob, what's your thoughts on that match, bro? Were you shocked?
I was shocked at how easily Morozov won. I figured Morozov was going to win. He's got a taller arm. He's got a really strong top roll. And I expected him to go over Corey's hand and it put him in a hook and just drug him down. That's what blew me away. It didn't surprise me that Morozov won. It surprised me how he won.
Did you think you'd shut him out though, Bob?
Yeah, I did. Because I really thought Morozov was going to top roll. He's got, in my opinion, he's probably got a stronger hand. He's got a taller arm. He can create more up pressure to get Corey's hand to go back and pin him that way. That's how I thought the match was going to go. And he just controlled his hand. He didn't go around Corey's wrist. He just went like right through it. And it was super impressive. I mean, the reality isn't Morozov like low 20s, 25 years
24, 25.
25.
Yeah, 20,
yeah,
24,
that guy's getting stronger by the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old Corey is, but
32.
Corey, what?
32.
Early 30s.
33.
Okay, well, he can definitely get stronger then. He can definitely get stronger then. So the problem is, unfortunately, Corey can't get any taller. His hand can't get any longer.
The other thing is just where Morozov's coming from, man, is Kazakhstan. I mean, just the level of arm wrestling he could just practice with on a regular basis is just, next level over there and all. We got a $4.99 super chat in from Freddie Sanchez Arm Wrestling. This is who Tom will be going against in his big super match coming up. Got Las Vegas secret info on Tom this weekend. His ex-team talked a lot. Ah, ha, ha. Oh, wow. Shots fired, Tom. He's hanging out with your ex-teammates, and he's getting the inside scoop on how you
That's pretty cute. I'm going to fucking destroy this guy.
Is this left or right-handed?
Right arm.
We're going to do both, and I'm going to completely humiliate him on the table.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, because I don't know if you know, Paul, but in the wintertime, I live down near Mesquite, Nevada, and I train every Saturday in Las Vegas with Tom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I can tell you that Tom knows how to arm wrestle. He is a very good technician, inside, outside. So even if he actually had teammates saying this is how Tom arm wrestles, Tom can go anywhere.
Oh, man.
So
that's so cute from Freddie.
All you can tell Freddie, I mean, if and I don't know this Freddie person, so I apologize. But if Freddie asked me, how does Tom arm wrestle? My answer would be yes. He can hook, he can top roll, he can shoulder roll, he can top roll from a hook, he can shoulder roll from a top roll. He can go anywhere. So,
Bob, have you seen Freddie Sanchez arm wrestle? He's from
no,
Texas.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, well, just so you know, Freddie Sanchez, he's been in the game for quite a while, man. I think he's in like 10 years into the sport and all. So it's definitely going to be a hard one for Tom, but gotta
4
say,
weeks
dude,
out. I cannot wait.
I gotta say, man, I seen a lot of the videos you're putting out there with your training. You are looking strong as hell, bro. You in the gym lifts and all that. So I
can't
expect the war that day.
I can't wait.
So guys, I want to get back to King of Table. Let's finish up on that. We had another great match. We have a legend return to our sport, and that being Engin Terzi. And
hey, on the Corey West thing, real fast.
Yeah,
Michael Todd made a good point. He said Corey West needs to figure out what he wants to do because he has a lot of hobbies. He also said Corey West has the fastest car in his state, for example. Yeah. So he may not be fully focused on arm wrestling like
right.
More, for example, because he said he needs to figure out what he wants to do because he has so many hobbies. He also has the fastest car in his state. So
no, his ex-wife ended up with the car.
Oh wow.
Is that Jerry?
Oh,
Jerry?
Jerry's here.
Yeah, he's in here, but his video isn't on.
Jerry, let's see your video, bro. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear your voice. I'm like, the Phantom is here.
I've been here.
Oh, bro, you put on your video. I can't see
Yeah,
you,
there's
man.
just
I had no idea
there's
you
no
were in here.
video.
There's no video.
My bad, bro. I didn't know you were in here, man. So, guys, I want to introduce everybody. The super heavyweight champion of East versus West is now in the house. Jerry Catterick. Welcome, brother. How are you? And where are you, man? Heard you're in Jersey or something?
I'm out in New Jersey.
What are you doing in my neck of the woods?
I was, looking for the Jersey Shore crew.
You're doing some fist pumping over there. Did you see that video I put out on my page, man?
Yeah.
Somebody dressed. somebody shared that, man.
He's diving.
So why are you in Jersey though? You getting some stem cell treatment or something?
Vitacell treatment tomorrow.
Oh, very cool, man. How's that going? How's training going? I mean, obviously your training is going amazing. You're beating Levon on his lifts, 185-pound curl on a friggin' table, 4 or 5 reps, bro. That is just absurd. And then
Don't forget with the fat grip.
With the fat grip and 61 reps on the bench press, and you're still like complaining that you didn't get enough. Like, wow.
Yeah. I could have easily did at least 1 or 2 more, but I couldn't hit the 65, so I just racked it. And that was coming off of the week when I fucked up my lefts. I said that's fine. I'll do 65 plus next week.
So we just got to introduce. We got Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News has just entered the room. Welcome,
Thanks,
Pradeep. Glad to have you on, brother.
And we got my teammate Dustin as well.
So, Dustin, welcome, brother. How are you, bro?
What's cracking, boys?
How you doing, man? So I hear that you got a round robin match coming up with somebody in the room right now, a Bob Brown legend you are pulling. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I can't see who's talking. Who am I pulling?
Is my video up?
Yeah,
I see you. It's Dustin D. Woody.
I'm doing this on a cell phone. I only got I got 7 pictures.
Bob, turn it sideways and then flip it over a screen.
It is sideways.
No, slide it over one screen and you can see them all.
Okay.
There's you. Yeah, I can see 6 people, 7 people, including myself.
So
I got it.
So, guys, before we get into the big round robin match and all, I just want to finish up. We're on the last match we're talking about. We got 2 matches. We got Engin Terzi versus Coach Ray. I want to talk about the amazing performance Engin put out there, man. That dude is just unbelievable. You see why he's such a legend of our sport. I just couldn't believe that the static back pressure he holds, and then all of a sudden, soon as go, usually when you're holding static hold like that, you don't move too quick. And then all of a sudden he just shoots side pressure like the fastest thing you've ever seen. What an impressive performance, guys. What did you guys think of that?
Complete masterclass.
Yeah, that match went the way I expected it to go. I'm just a little bummed that I'm hoping Ingen did not hurt his shoulder or pec or anything. Okay, now I can see Dustin.
That's why I brought up the 6-rounder, because I feel like he may have hurt it worse or strained it worse doing those 2 extra rounds when he already won 4-0.
And to walk away,
but he
for
felt
sure.
obligated to do it almost.
It would have ended away.
My personal opinion on the whole 6-round thing is it's my personal opinion. I think it's stupid. If you win 4-0, it's over.
Guys, we got a $1.99 super chat in from Freddie Sanchez, Arm Wrestling. Louis Alacron is going to destroy you, Dustin. Ooh, wow, strong words. Thank you, Freddie. Freddie's always stirring the pot in the chat room. Love it, bro.
Pump for the Freddie.
So
I totally agree with what Bob just said about the 6-round format. I think once you are up 4-0, the next 2 rounds are basically after pulls. Nobody really cares, including the athletes.
Think about professional athletes in other sports. You don't keep them in when you're up by 30 points. You sit them so they don't get injured. Why risk the athletes when they've already won the match 4-0 or 4-1 or whatever?
Gary, what's your thoughts on that one?
I'd go either way. I think that if they were wars and it was a pay-per-view, maybe the people that paid just want to see some more matches. But if it's blowouts, it's stupid.
Yeah,
I'll give you agree with Jerry, but I also look at it from a promoter's standpoint. If they're trying to make a league, right, where they're saying this guy had so many super matches, and in those super matches he went 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, right? And then these guys, when they're trying like for total points or something, that's the only logic I have that they might want to do that and say like this dude has had 8 super matches. He's 18-2, like in terms of total wins or whatever, right?
Well, I think King of the Table did where you have to do all 6 rounds is because they only got 3 matches, so they want to make it last as long as possible, so people feel like they're getting their money's worth. That's why I think they require arm wrestle all around.
6-round super matches have been around all the way, since the Arm War days. This is not a new phenomenon, okay? Like I've been in 6-round, Jerry's been in 6-round. Bob, have you ever done a 6-round super match?
Many times.
So I'm assuming you did. I just didn't want to.
Yeah, I have.
But the thing is it does test. Like if you're a guy like who's just a truck puller and he gasses out, well, guess what? You need to now be a real athlete through and through if you're hoping to last. And I think Levon got exposed a little bit by Hermes, right? Let's be real. I mean, if you need by after the 4th round, you're not a fit athlete. This is coming from a fat guy. Like I'm being real. Like, you know what I mean? It takes one to know one. Like if I wouldn't enter in something if I didn't have some fucking form of cardio. Jerry, you're a big man. You got one of the best cardio. So it's not just because you're big, but you have to be fit.
Yeah, but bro, if you can use oxygen in between, it would help you out. So, why not use that in your corner?
Fine. Okay.
The reason why I say that is just I just actually hit up Jerry last week and I was just like, yo, bro, why don't you find out about getting oxygen when you're in Turkey?
NFL athletes do oxygen between quarters and rounds all the time. It's a normal thing in other sports.
Okay, but he didn't just use oxygen. He didn't answer the bell, right? Like he decided to quit. And quitting, what happens in a 12-round or a 10-round boxing match if you decide to quit round?
Is it quitting when you already won 4-0 though?
But it's the rules. Like I mean, if you don't like the rules, then don't play the game. It depends on whatever the promoter has decided. Like if you're scheduled for 6, look, what's the worst you could do? Show up. I don't really have it. Put your elbow, take the fucking loss. Like you could at least do that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he had too much pride. He did not want to see let the world see that he was Hermes was likely going to get that 6th win, or the 6th. You know what I'm getting at?
5th
Well,
and
they
6th,
gave him the wins regardless, right?
Say again.
They gave him the wins regardless. Hermes got the 2 wins.
Yeah.
We all know, it's like I beat Travis. They'll say, oh, he never pinned him. He won on elbow fouls. Sometimes people they cry or they laugh to save from crying. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think Levon did. He did not want video of this happening.
Guys, we got to just keep this moving though, because we're getting too far into detail on certain things, and we're nowhere near the subjects I got to touch on. So we got to go to the main event and match. Let's just blow through this one real quick, and that's Dave Chafee versus Devin Lorette. I couldn't believe the way that Devin did it. With putting him in the hook in the first round, controlling him, looking at him. So what was your thoughts on that, Bob? Were you surprised in how dominant Devin was?
Yes, I really thought Dave was going to beat him. I actually gave Dave my own personal 2 cents on what I think he should do. It didn't work. Devin was just much, much stronger this time. So there you go.
Bob rarely has faith in Devin, though. Let's be real. He always chooses the other guy.
Oh, no. I always have faith in Devin. And even when I bet against Devin, most times I know I'm donating money.
Okay.
I just don't, what can I say? I don't like Devin's antics on the table. So
that's fair.
Jerry, what was your thoughts on that? Sorry, Josh. What were you saying, Josh?
I said I think Devin's finally filling out the potential of his body. He's always kind of just been around 245, 250. Now he's up to 280. He's always been technical. Now he's adding that strength to it that he never really had last time he faced Dave.
Jerry, what was your thoughts on that whole match, bro? Did you think that Devin really leveled up that much, or is Dave has decreased in his?
Well, I said before, I think that Dave might hurt because for him to not be able to do anything, I think Devin's got to be good, but I think that Dave is not the Dave that we.
Yeah. Well, didn't Devin confirm that he believed that Dave was injured?
Mm-hmm.
Devin,
I don't know.
That doesn't. Dave admitted it. I think Devin just said it afterwards, and stated that he thinks that Dave has been injured because he felt Devin before, and he felt Dave before, and he felt Dave again this time, and he said it wasn't the same.
Devin said he thought he was going to at least lose one round. Like, he was being honest. He said he thought he was going to lose at least one round.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
I did. I thought Dave. Well, Dave beats everybody first round generally, right? Boom. Like, I thought, he has the best. I don't even know what is Dave's move called? Like, it's like is it a high hook? Is it a drag hook? What is that? I don't even know.
To me, it's
top roll, right? It's like.
To me, it's just flat hand side pressure.
Flat hand side pressure. There you go.
I mean, that's what I call it.
I think Ian, Dave winning first round, that's kind of history now. Last 3 matches he's lost 3-0, 3-0, and now 6-0.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So guys, what I want to talk about now is me and Ian were on the phone, and we kind of were going back and forth with each other. And it was in reference to the Gennady versus Devin Lorette match. And one of the topics that we were kind of going back and forth with was in the first round, the second foul that was awarded, and that was to Devin. Devin went off the back of the pad. And when I seen it, Ian is saying that Devin shouldn't have been fouled on that it should have been on Gennady. But Devin received that foul, and that was the first round. That was the first win for Gennady in that, because it was 2 fouls. When I seen it, what I seen was Gennady was just going for the press, and he wasn't intentionally pushing the elbow off. That Devin kind of just went back and went off the back of it. So what I want to talk about, guys, is I know the rules in WAF. It states that you cannot intentionally push your opponent off the pad. If you do, you will be a foul. But if it's not intentional and you're going for a move, then it's perfectly legal. And if the guy goes off the pad, it's on that guy. He has to keep his elbow on the pad. So I want to talk about this because when I put this post up and I asked everybody what the rulings are, it's like everybody all said with the intentional, you can't intentionally push, but there was also a lot of different answers I was getting. You know, half of the people were saying that it should have been on Gennady, half of the people were saying it should have been on Devin. So I kind of want to iron this out right now because I don't want to have a problem when we have Jerry versus Hermes match. And that's why I got Jerry here. That's why I got Bob Brown in the house. I know Bob Brown knows a lot about the rules. And I kind of just want to throw this around everybody and kind of get everybody's opinion. So the first question for the room right now is, was the right foul given that day? And that being to Devin coming off the back.
I have a feeling they actually gave the foul to Devin when Devin's arm came off the back.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
And so I'm not that was the correct call. So I guess I'm not understanding. Are you thinking that Gennady pushed him off and therefore Gennady should have gotten the foul?
Okay,
That's
so
yes,
okay,
that's what Ian thinks.
The rule is if it's intentional, right? If you push,
I know the rule very clearly.
Listen to what I have to say with this, okay?
Okay.
When Jerry's doing a press, he is trying to press the guy to the side downward in a press, right? Okay. No matter what the physical like unless the guy who's top rolling does like a lat drag and is trying to catch him like this, and he puts his own elbow off the back of the pad, that's the only way. Like if you're Gennady and you push the guy and Devin's arm, like Devin did not pull his arm back. Devin's arm went back. And the only way it possibly could go this way is that you intentionally do that because
absolutely no.
Listen, I just went over this. There's no way you can press this way and have a guy's elbow go that way. It's physics.
Okay.
This is not this. And Gennady went. He was in. Think about how that first round.
Okay.
If that was true, Jerry would be fouled out on every match.
Exactly.
Exactly. Ian, you got to hear us out though. For 35 years, Jerry would not have a win.
Buddy. Yeah, you need to relax, Ian. You don't know where this rule came from, and based on what you're saying, Jerry would be fouled out of every match he's ever been in his whole life because Jerry pushes forward. He pushes forward sometimes. And if you calm down, Ian, calm down, brother, calm down. First of all, I want to explain where this rule actually came from. Okay. Picture this. You're in a hook with your palm up and you are really close to getting pinned. Your palm up, you're in a hook and you went like that to drive your elbow. You're not going this way. You're simply going this way, palm up, and a desperation to push the guy's elbow off. That's where this rule came from. It was never when you're up here and going forward or backward, or sideways. That was never the intention of this rule. Because if I've got your hand cracked back and I'm up top and I go straight towards you, I am absolutely not trying to push your elbow off the pad. I'm trying to break your arm.
Then they got to change the wording in the rules because it actually forward momentum.
I understand. And you're right. The wording sucks. There's lots of rules that the wording sucks. Okay, the rules are fucking terribly written. Yeah. But that was the whole intent, was to stop that.
But regardless, what got me fired up and was the whole when Jerry, and I love Jerry, I think, but when he was like, I beat Gennady and Devin lost to Gennady, and I'm thinking, okay, did IQ drop suddenly? That first round, Devin was sitting pretty and was just trying to bleed him. He could have finished him. And then guess what, round 2, guess what happened round 3? That could have been a clean sweep.
It could have been. So once again, why was Devin just sitting there trying to bleed him?
Phantom call that we all agree that call number one simply did, and if anything, it was on Gennady because there's actual video evidence of Gennady's elbow coming out. So, so let's just be fair. Like, yes, the result was this, but how it came to be, and the fact that they don't do review, Jerry, you must be pissed off when they don't go to the camera when you request it. KOTT does, but East versus West don't, and it might be because of time strength or whatever. But when you're those two level guys, you need to be right. You need to go and say, okay, Devin's saying, I didn't foul. I fucking didn't foul. He was right. Why didn't they review it?
Jerry, what is your thoughts on this whole this topic, bro?
Well, I know the only way someone goes against me is they're pulling their arm to the back of the pad and they're trying to open me up. So if they're going to the back of the pad, they're pulling me their way to their side of the table. And I'm still pressing towards the pin pad. And eye pressure will switch from towards the pin pad to the edge of the pin pad that's on their side. But I don't push across the table. I push always left, right? Always left. But it could be left and a little bit north, based on how they open up and where they're applying their pressure as they're pulling backwards. It just depends. Like, I mean, look at how I got into a shitty position when I went against Georgie. And I mean, I know I didn't lift at all, but you know, I was all the way on the other side of the pad, and I was I was still pushing to the left.
Think about when you went against Travis in that $15,000 match. That was the same kind of shit, bro. You know, he was shooting to the back of the pad, and that's kind of what I saw Devin doing against Gennady that day.
And then my match with Travis, he was trying to pull me off.
Travis was doing this. Travis was going like, whereas Devin was in the high post, and his arm literally went back because of the forward pressure. That's my argument.
Yo, the other match I want to put spotlight
Paul,
on.
once again.
Sorry.
One thing that nobody is talking about in that match, everybody saw that Gennady had that elbow foul first. And if you watch that video carefully, he lifted that elbow intentionally to get the restart. So it was a big elbow foul. I'm 100% sure on this. He lifted that elbow to get the restart because he knew he was screwed in that position. And still that foul. And wasn't it Neil who claims to be the person behind this rule? He keeps on saying that rule was bad, pushing. Maybe he got pushed off the back of the pad a few times, and he was like, I was in the Congress, the rules meeting of WAF, and I insisted on this rule that if you push your opponent on the back of the pad, it should be fouled.
That rule should just simply not exist. If I'm East versus West, or I'm king of the table, keep your elbow on the pad, period. If it comes off, it's your fault. I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
Keep your damn elbow on the pad.
I agree with that. With that.
So guys, we want that to be that way. So when Jerry and Ermi's match, man, we got to remember this talk, and hopefully Engin's listening right now. So Ermi's, you don't hold that elbow on the pad, bro. You're getting the foul. So know that now, my man. But guys, the other one I want to, this is the same topic, but I want to bring this match up because I don't want to just focus on the East versus West match. They had that problem. The other big one that I seen was Austin Jaggers versus Tim Bresnan. You guys all remember that? And
no, but okay.
Tim and Austin. So Tim went off the back of the pad and he went crazy when it was Austin was actually just trying to press him. And he definitely wasn't trying to intentionally push him off, but Tim started yelling crazily at the referee, and he intimidated him that day. And they ended up giving it to Austin Jaggers, and Austin lost his match over that. So that was one of the big discrepancies where that rule came into effect, and it actually changed the outcome of the match. Guys, hold on before we got a super chat from X1348 for $5. Ask Dave Chafee whom pulled Revis. Devin. This is recent. We need this data. What does Chafee have to say about both matches? Thank you for that super chat. And another $5 super chat from Joe Fern for $5. Been trying to screw Big Daddy every East versus West, especially Big Daddy. They don't want to see Big Daddy win. So start making rules against his style. Thank you for that.
Well, I think that Big Daddy and that is the one and only time I will ever call him that. Jerry, the way he arm wrestles, and everybody knows the way he arm wrestles, and he's right. Everyone goes running to the back of the pad while Jerry is pushing down. And I, quite frankly, don't care if Jerry's pushing forward. You know, he is trying to pin you. Maybe he's trying to pin you on his opponent's side of the table between the arm wrestlers, not between the pegs, but between the arm wrestlers. He's pushing to forward left, but he's pushing to the pad. And if your elbow comes off the back, that is not an intentional foul and has never been interpreted as an intentional foul under WAF rules ever. So the fact that it is sometimes getting interpreted now that way is just wrong. So
I also think I agree with Bob that this shouldn't be a rule, because it, even if you're pushing someone, it takes a lot of strength, and there are some clear examples of pushing somebody off the back of the pad. Ryan SP versus WL, if you guys remember, Ryan SP versus Travis at the WL left-handed match finals, and Travis was doing this. He was clearly pushing off. One time I saw Jerry do that. It was against Gennady when Gennady's elbow was already off the back of the pad, and the referee was not calling it, and then Jerry was going like straight towards Gennady, and then he was talking with the referee to get those fouls. So I think it's clear when somebody pushes someone off the back of the pad, but still having it as a rule and never following it. I've watched maybe 10,000-20,000 matches at least, and I've seen 3-4 times that rule being followed, and the referee actually gives the foul on someone who pushed you off the back of the pad. It is never being followed. I don't know why that rule exists, and if Neil invented that rule, there has to be something shady about that.
I love it. We got a $1.99 super chat from Caleb Williams. Hope they don't screw Jerry like they did versus Gennady. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. Guys, I want to talk before we get into our weekly trivia game. I got some good ones for us. Pradeep, I fixed them up, bro. I hope you're going to approve this week. So Pradeep was letting me know I was getting a little too detailed and they were getting a little too hard. So I revamped our trivia this week, guys. But I want to touch on the 4-way round robin that we got coming up. And I believe that is July 29th in Wisconsin. I believe Corey Miller is throwing this event.
Oh,
and he put a great 4-way together. So I kind of want to hear about that. So Bob, can you kind of clue us in what's going on that day and how did it all come about and who you pulling?
okay. So this is interesting, and I'm glad I'm going to ask Dustin a question, and I'm hoping that what Corey told me is true, because if it's not, Dustin may not be very happy right now.
Okay.
I'm supposed to pull Jamie Sheldon. He's been trying to set that match up for a long time. For the longest time, I was under the impression I'm pulling Jamie Sheldon, and that's it. I didn't know about there was another match, and then the winners are going to pull each other. And I went, Corey, what are you, nuts? You're going to have a best of 5, and then the winners pull another best of 5? I mean, what are you, crazy? I mean, that's nuts. And he's like, well, that's what we were going to do. And, I'm sorry you didn't understand that. And I'm like, well, I mean, here's the reality that I think is true with me and Jamie. Jamie is either going to beat me fast or I'm going to beat him slow. And if me and him have these crazy God death wars and my arm is going to, and let's say I win and my arm feels like it's going to fall off, I ain't pulling another match. And I've told Corey this, and I'm hoping he's told Dustin and this other gentleman this. He's never said this to you? Because Corey told,
I'm only showing up for you and Jamie, man. I'm going to bust Alcorn back. So.
Okay, well.
Only reason it's worth me flying out there.
Is so you think you're going to bust that guy, and then so your main focus is you're busting that guy, and then you want to pull the winner of me and Jamie.
Yeah, I'm specific for your King's move and Jamie's inside game.
Okay. Then me, you, and Corey, and Jamie, and this other guy might want to have a little chat off of this.
Yeah.
Because if my arm is wasted, it's kind of like we were just talking. In a 6-round super match, if I win the first 4 rounds, I am freaking laying down the next 2 because I'm not risking injury.
I hear that.
And if I win against Jamie in some death match where my arm is freaking killing me, I ain't risking it on if you crush the guy, a completely fresh arm. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at 58 years old,
Hey, would you consider it the same format, but like a best 2 out of 3? Would that interest you?
Probably not. I mean, it just depends on how they go.
And Bob, what I'm feeling is that you're mainly going for you pulling Jamie, and that's what your focus was this whole training.
I did not know there was anything but me and Jamie until about a month ago.
Okay, so I'm glad we're here now talking this out, so we could at least you guys know there's a problem that you guys got to sort out before.
Yeah, and I talked to Corey. I went, Corey, look, do they know
my plane ticket for this exact reason?
Say that again.
I have not purchased my plane ticket, which is no problem for me. That's no thing. I don't care at all. But I have not bought my plane ticket for this reason.
Yeah. See that? Yeah, we need to have a conversation if that's the real case. Because I mean, hey, if Jamie smashes me, yeah, he's gonna have a fresh arm. But I don't think Jamie's gonna smash me. I think at some point that match is gonna stop.
It is.
And when it stops, all hell's gonna break loose, and we're just gonna be dead. And I don't mind pulling someone. I wouldn't mind pulling Dustin if it's like, okay, my arm is just tired. All right, I'll deal with that. But if I'm like, ooh, something might have tweaked in there or something, it's really problem. I'm not going to risk anything for a match, another match right after I just, killed myself. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's completely understandable. Guys, we got a $10 super chat. Silky Wilkie. What about the opposite when Hermes was fouled for trying to hold Levon, but his elbow kept coming off the front from his weight and back pressure? Thank you for that. What do you guys think of that with the opposite going with Hermes going out off the front? Kind of like what Jerry went through with Gennady.
Well, so someone was being pulled off the front. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Levon was pulling Hermes off the front with his massive back.
That's his problem.
Oh yeah, no. If your elbow comes off the front because someone's pulling you off, get stronger. Keep your elbow down.
100%. 100%.
I actually won. I won a left-handed Masters World Championship in England in 2006 with a busted up shoulder. And in my third match, I back pressured a guy. His elbow came off the table. And I was like, ooh, I can do that again. Boom, lifted him off, second foul, great. Saved my shoulder, move on to the next match. So, yeah.
I think there are already a couple of rules to keep these things in check. First of all, you cannot your shoulder cannot cross the center line. The other one is there has to be a fist distance or before the start, and after the start you cannot touch your hand with your body. There needs to be some gap. After that, I think as long as you are keeping your elbow on the pad, I think you should be allowed to do anything.
Yeah, well, what they're saying in this one, Pradeep, is I've got enough I've got enough back pressure to just lift you off the pad. Yeah. Yes, that's a foul for you.
That's what I'm saying, because Levon's elbow is on the pad and back pressure, side pressure, whatever it is, I think that should be totally okay.
Yeah.
We got a $1.99 super chat from Caleb Williams to Jerry. Who wins the Gennady Devin rematch? Jerry, who do you think, bro, on the rematch between Gennady and Devin?
I think it's going to be a tough match. I think both competitors now know what they're in for. So Devin's going to be the smarter puller, the stronger puller. So if I was a bet man, it's always tough to bet against Devin, but I'm interested to see the match. I think it's going to come down to the rubber match. I think it's going to go 2-2, and it's going to come down to the fifth match.
I agree.
Yeah, Gennadi's the one that Devin just lost against. Is that who Gennady is?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Devin is clearly this. I don't know why Devin was just posing with the guy to wear him down. I think if Devin would have just slammed him, he probably could have done it 2 more times.
Well, he did. He won the second and the third. That would have been a clean sweep.
Right.
But
yeah. I think.
Remember, though, Bob, after the meet was over, Devin even conceded and said, yeah, Gennady won.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm not disputing. Gennady won. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that if it happens again, if Devin just, Devin was just sitting there holding him in that first round.
He's not going to do that
to bleed him. I think Devin bleeds people for a show. I don't think Devin bleeds him because he needs to. And with Gennady, he could have just dumped him 3 times. I don't think he needed to bleed him at all.
He was making showtime for sure.
He was making showtime. Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
It bite him in the ass, though, didn't it?
Yes, exactly. It bit him in the ass.
We
But
got a $4.99 super chat, guys. Hold on one second. From Proven Astrology. Bob, does Dustin look like RVJ's big brother play a role in your thinking? That's a good one. Thank you, Proven Astrology. Dustin looking like RVJ's big brother. Does that play a role in your thinking right now?
No, but he does look jacked. Now, Dustin, you're from Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, funny story. I was down at Louisiana State, and I won the tournament. I ended up, I forget the name of the gentleman I beat. Robbie Carson-Dick.
I know him well.
After the tournament, somebody walked up to me and said, hey, this is how Dustin arm wrestles. This is how you can beat Dustin. And I honestly don't know who it was. And in the moment, I had no idea why he was telling me this. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'll see you later. I don't know who Dustin is. I don't know why you're telling me. And then I get home, and that's when I found out, or it finally sank in. Oh, there's a 4-way. Dustin is this 4-way. Oh, okay. Then it made sense to me why this guy came up to me.
We got another super chat in $4.99 from Caleb Williams. Had a dream last night that Jerry beat Levon for the hammer and then beat him over the head with it. Oh, wow. Thank you, Caleb, for that. And then $1.98 super chat from X1348, and it says message retracted. I don't know what that was about, but if you want to write down what you meant in the chat room, I'll say that out loud. Thank you for that super chat.
Well, Bob, if you want to talk to Corey, let's definitely figure something out. I have no desire just to fly to Wyoming to pull a Texas guy in Alhorn. I go to tournaments all over Texas. I've never seen him at an event.
The other guy's from Texas as well?
Yeah, I think he's like El Paso.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
So guys, you guys got to get it on the phone with Corey Miller tomorrow early, because we don't know if this Texas guy might have bought his airline ticket too, man. So we just got to get on this and get this all ironed out so everybody's on the same page and all. So definitely get in touch with Corey Miller tomorrow.
But we'll meet one day, Bob, and whatever day it is, let's make it happen.
That's cool. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Hey, I appreciate having me on. I'm going to go make some dinner for the wife.
Thank you for coming on, brother. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Take it easy, guys. Peace out, Bob.
Guys, before we get into trivia, I just have one quick question. I got a big my second amateur tournament this weekend. I'm going in Orlando, Florida at the Fit Expo, thrown by Florida Arm Wrestling League. So I wanted to get advice from first off, I want to get Jerry, I want Bob, and I want Ian. Kind of just give me whatever tip you could give me for my second amateur tournament. You know, what can I do to prepare and be ready to put out the best performance?
Do you want to know what I tell everybody?
Yeah, what do you tell them?
I tell them when the ref says go, if pulling right-handed, go to the left.
Oh, that's the way I got to go. Okay.
That's the direction. That's pretty much what I tell. I mean, just go and have fun. Do your best. Don't, when I only ever pulled that one amateur event. After that, it was all open/pro, whatever you want to call it, because there really wasn't much amateur stuff back then. My honest advice to you is this: don't just pull the amateurs. Pull the amateurs and the open. Pull as much as you can. If that is really what I would do.
I want to kind of give you my blueprint of what I'm doing, man. So I pulled one other amateur event. That was the Cobra Classic. There was 14 guys in the 190, 200-pound class, came in second. I'm doing this one, and then I'm doing one in September, and then I got a super match that I'm doing before the end of the year. That's the end of my whole amateur career right there. So practically those 4 events. Next year, I'm going all in pro. I'm going to go 198 class.
Good.
So that's just kind of the blueprint I put out. I don't want to go faster than that because each event I'm working on something else. I'm now working on my hit and really focusing on the setup. And I think once I get that hit and setup, I think I am going to be a problem for the pros. So I just want to go into the steps that I kind of laid out in my blueprint and all.
I agree. Make a plan and follow your plan. Perfect.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Jerry, wanted to ask you, brother, any tips you could give me for this weekend? And I know I sent you a video of somebody that, he's a shoulder roller and a press. He might possibly be there. So I was getting some tips. Don't tell anybody now what you told me about that, but I did get that tip. But anything else you could tell me, bro?
I think you got to watch the setups, watch the reps, watch the cadence, right? Be ready for go. And I think once you got that down, just watch what your opponents do and know your enemy. And then if you can time the ref perfectly, then that's a big advantage because most of the people, they get nervous up there and they miss the go.
Ian, what about you, brother? Any tips you could give me?
Okay, well, yesterday we talked about some of the hooking strategies that you remember we were going on. So yes. I would say if you're going to do that, do it and go and commit to it. Okay. But I'm going to go in a different route. I want you to go there, manage your expectations, go and look at each match as its own thing, right? Don't I got 14 guys. Don't worry about who's in there. Just when you get to your match, that's the most important thing at the time, that one that you're going up to. Okay. Try to control your fucking, your nerves. Okay. Because, you want to get excited like 30 seconds before go so you can get that adrenaline when on the hip. But if you're sitting there pacing and fucking worried, man, by the time you get to the table, you're going to be exhausted. You get what I mean? Yeah. So don't worry, try to flush out the cameras, try to flush out there's nobody but you and him, and just focus on your plan of it.
Yeah, you know what the difference is on this one? So the last one I threw the super matches for the Cobra Classic. So there was no time of me to think about the super matches. I mean, my matches coming up in the tournament. So I was just focused on that. So, a time it was for me to pull, I was just getting done throwing these super matches. Now there was no time to think, just went right up and did my business. Now I'm going to be going there thinking about the whole drive there. I'm going to be sitting around, not doing anything, so I don't know if the nerves are going to play effect, but I got to say one thing, I prepared for this. I took things from Travis that he taught me when I used to train with him all the time. I do that ghost arm wrestling on the table where I just keep walking up to the table a couple hundred times a day and I just set up, and just constantly do that. So it just comes like I'm a machine. I don't even have to think about it of that day. I'm just going to get up and get into my position. I don't really care who's on the other side of the table, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do,
There you go.
Paul, someone advised in the chat that push them off the back of the pad, all of them.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell them I'm going for the press, so it's all good, guys. I'm going left, as Bob would say. That's it, bro.
Go left.
All right, guys. So now we're going to go on to trivia before we call this the end of the night. So just to put Bob and Ian and Jerry on.
I suck at trivia.
Every week we do. No, you're going to be good at this one, man, because I revamped it and all. I think you're going to get some of these. But yeah, all you do, if you have a piece of paper or you could type it in your phone, I'm going to give each person 10 to 20 seconds to put their answer, lock it in. Same thing with the chat room. Put all your answers there so we can see them. And then I'll give out the right answer and we'll see who's the king of trivia. I know Pradeep's already over there. And
Pradeep's going to kill us all.
Yeah, Pradeep has been the man with it, but I got yelled at last week for my trivia. So let's see if he'll be more happy with today's trivia. So question number 1, guys. Who had the nickname Mr. Intensity? Who had the nickname, chat room, Mr. Intensity? So we all locked in chat room. Let's see some of your answers.
Yeah, I put an X because I have no idea.
Wow, Bob, you should know this one, bro.
I have no idea.
Ian. Alan Fisher, Tom. Yes, you are right. Alan Fisher is the answer.
Oh.
Right. Very good. Jerry, did you get that right? I didn't see nothing from you, bro.
Oh, he's
Jerry, you
on.
there?
Oh, sorry, I had the mute on. No, I didn't have the answer. I didn't know.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay, it was Alan Fisher. So, guys in the chat room, yeah, we got a bunch of people that got that right. Question number 2. Who won 2022 over the top, down under, right arm, open weight class? In 2022, they had over the top, down under, which
I might know this.
Yeah. Right arm, open weight class. Who won that? Let's see, guys, in the chat room. What do you guys got? And what do we got in here?
Okay, I put up Lachlan Adair.
Yes, and you guys are all right with Lachlan Adair. Lachlan Adair is the correct answer. That was when he beat that big guy with the face tattoos.
Right.
Yeah, I always butcher up his name, but yeah, that was an impressive performance by Lachlan. And this weekend, Lachlan's got a big match actually going down at AWE 2. He will be pulling Jordan Sill. This I expect a war. These two are just Jack Diesel. I mean, this is going to be a good one. And guys, get over to Ryan Bowen's channel or Artem Tarenko's channel. They got also big super match going down. You could get over to their YouTube, and I think you could buy your membership and get your pay-per-view. Going to be a great event. I will definitely be getting that. Question number 3. Who is the top puller from Oklahoma? Who is the top puller from Oklahoma? Meaning who has got the most success? You know, we're not talking about, it doesn't have to be the heaviest and biggest guy, but who is the top puller of Oklahoma?
Yeah.
So, chat room, who do we have? Who is the top puller in Oklahoma?
All right, guys. I had no idea.
Nobody.
Jeff Hale is the answer.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Hale. Yeah. Guys should have known that. Pradeep, you didn't put that up there, bro.
I don't know where people live.
Pradeep doesn't know American states. Come on.
Wow, Pradeep, you slacking, bro.
I've heard the names of like all of the states of US, but
Texas, California, New York.
If you ask me which state is where, I cannot find that on the map.
Yeah.
No chance.
Neither can any of us.
Question number 4. What Georgian arm wrestler was born in 1988? What Georgian arm wrestler was born in 1988? This is easy, guys. This one, you guys.
I know who it is. I just don't know his name.
Oh, you know his name. You know his name, definitely, bro.
Well, he was pulling Devin in the in that restaurant, right?
Well, Levon, it could be Levon. I'm going to say Levon.
Levon could be third.
Got it right.
Levon
got it right.
Yeah.
Tom got it right. Levon is
totally
Levon or Ravaz.
Did you terrible.
Say 88 or 1998?
88.
Oh,
1988.
My bad.
Son of a bitch. That man, I'm so much older than him. Yeah.
Ian, if you were thinking about Bacho Saginashvili, then he's a lot younger than that. He was born in like 2005
younger,
or something.
98?
2005
he's 18.
He's only 18.
God, really? I was thinking Bacho.
Wow.
Which is insane.
Question number 5. This one is, who was the first guest on the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show?
Oh, no idea.
Probably Jerry.
Who was the first guest on the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show?
I'm gonna say,
bro.
Jerry.
Nope.
Jerry?
Everybody got this one wrong. Nope. Austin Jaggers, man.
Oh, shit. It was Austin.
Jaggers. And we also had on that same show, we had Matt Craig, Bo, and Quinlan Mendez, because we had them all coming on for the Cobra Classic. Remember, we had the super matches.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
We're terrible hosts.
Number 6. Yeah, that was good, Josh. What year was Devin Lorette born? What year was Devin Lorette born?
I'm gonna guess.
It's either 75.
75.
I guess 75.
Wow, yes, 1975 is it. Jerry got it too, man. That was a good one, guys.
Yeah,
Ian,
he recently turned 48.
Yep.
How many years older than Jerry am I? Or older than Devin?
You 3 years. 3 years.
You're 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Is it 10 years?
10 years. I'm 10 years older than Devin.
I thought for some reason you were 51 or something. Yeah.
And Dev looks right now.
Question number 7. In East versus West 5, who won between Georgie Desernoff versus Wagner Borlado left hand? In East versus West 5, who won, Georgie or Wagner left hand?
Okay.
Chat room, what's up? You're slacking in there, man. I don't know.
Georgie.
I don't see answers.
Georgie.
I think the question, Paul, the question should have been, when was the last time you saw Wagner win anything?
Yes,
That should-
exactly.
Oh, shit. So just so you guys know, Georgie won that 3-2.
Okay, yeah.
Wagner almost passed out going too crazy, I believe, if that's the right event.
When was the last one Wagner did get a win? Was that WAL?
Against
No,
who?
He didn't beat
never
Devin.
won in WL.
No.
That was his only WL match.
Last time I saw him win a super match was against Michael Todd on the left arm. It
Yeah, when he
was
broke
2017 maybe. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Broke Michael's arm.
Yeah. No. That was way back in Arm Wars. That was like more than a decade ago. He faced Michael again, and this time it was like easy 6-0 pins.
Number 8. Who was the tallest guest on the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show?
I got
was the tallest guest on the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show? What do you guys got, chat room?
Tallest? How tall are you, Jerry? 6'3"?
Smith.
Oh, damn.
We haven't had Derek.
Derek Smith.
We haven't had him.
We haven't had Derek Smith, but there's another guy that's close to right there. Who is it? You guys should know this one.
I don't know.
All right. So nobody got this right. So I'm going to give a little more hint. This one, New York.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hey, yo.
That's a big hint.
Mike.
Hello.
Yeah, Mike Aiello,
Mike
guys.
Aiello.
Mike Aiello, man, the monster. Hell yeah. How
How
tall
tall-
is Mike? Mike is 6'6", right, guys?
Oh, way. Zero chance 6'6".
6'5", I think.
I
No.
don't know.
Maybe 6'3", 6'4".
Mike,
He's not. He didn't tower over me like Devin.
He's
does.
also the tannest
Yeah.
probably guest you've ever had.
He might have the biggest.
I'm be close with that one, bro. I'm a New York guy too. I like the tan.
Okay.
Hey, WAL says 6'1".
no.
Wait, what?
Ah.
Mike
Oh,
Aiello is not
nah,
6'1",
nah.
brother. Mike
That's
Aiello is a giant, dude. He's
Yeah, he's
6'6",
massive.
bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Ian said 6'1".
Yeah.
No. I'm almost 6'1". He's about 6'4", I'd say.
That's
man, he's
6'4".
6'6", bro. He
Oh, well.
says 6'6".
Devin isn't even 6'6".
What's that?
He's shorter than Devin, and Devin isn't really 6'6".
We did actually ask him about his height when he was a guest, and he said 6'5".
Who said that?
Mike Aiello. Well, you know what? I'll text him right after this. We'll get an answer and I'll post it on the
Maybe he
YouTube.
is. Maybe he is. Maybe I don't.
Who knows?
Maybe he got a little shorter after the surgery or something too. I'm just playing, Mike.
Maybe 6'5". He could be 6'4", 6'5", maybe.
Next question, number 9. What year was Corey West born? Corey the Gorilla West. What year was he born? And if you guys think about it, we talked about it tonight. We said it. We said that on here. So we said how old he was. Now you just got to do the math. I know Pradeep's looking right now.
1993.
I'm going to say
91.
I don't know.
93.
1990. Corey West was born.
I got it.
You see, I originally had a 0 there too, but I put a 1 in it because I was questioning myself.
There you go. And just so you know, I hit up Corey right before this just to get that answer. So I know that's right. Number 10. What was the first main event in King of Table 1? What was the first main event match in King of Table 1? Chat room. Let me see which one is it, guys.
Oh. Okay, that would have been
King of Table 1.
It would have been
Stoops.
Oh, I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Devin versus Monster Michael Toddler. That's the first one.
Michael Toddler.
Toddler.
Yeah,
that'll
Toddler.
go over well.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that whole beef right now, but yeah,
No.
the Toddler. Number 11.
Right. Oh, there's more.
Yeah, we got 12 of them today, guys.
Oh,
and then we got
okay.
two quotes that we're gonna ask who said this. Number 11, who did Larry Wheels pull in King of Table 1? So that's connected to the first one, what was the main event match. Now, who did Larry Wheels pull in that one?
Brandon Allen.
Nope. Somebody really, really famous on social media.
Schoolboy.
Oh, Schoolboy.
There you go, guys. There you go. It was Schoolboy. Very good for you.
That dude who faced Bowen, I forgot his name. Didn't he?
Khalid.
Yeah, Khalid.
Oh, yeah.
That was in what was that, 2 or 3?
Well, you just named his 3. He had 3 super matches, and then he decided to step away in that format, right?
Yeah. First one was against Schoolboy, then it was against Khalid Jashel, then against Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
Now, for the last question is, what year was the first tournament John Berzink won? And it was right around the year that Bob Brown got into arm wrestling.
Oh, yeah. The
86.
first one he ever won?
Yep.
85.
Nope.
No. It's before that.
Bob, you should know it, bro. Let's hear Bob's answer first.
He'd have been, let's see. So he's 2 years older than me. He probably won his first tournament when he was 13. Probably like 75.
No. It was actually, so it must be the first significant one. Was when he was 18 years old.
18.
As a pro. He won his world championship, and that was the Petaluma one. That was 1982. Very good.
Yeah. 82. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Bob, did y'all face off a lot through the 80s and 90s?
Say that again?
You and John face off a lot through the 80s and 90s?
No, never.
No.
One I was on the East Coast.
Gotcha.
I moved to Utah at the end of 93. So I've trained with John since the end of 93. I've always been much lighter than John until now. Well, no, I'm still lighter than John. He's gotten bigger. I've gotten bigger. And we've only ever arm wrestled in a tournament, just a very handful of times. They'd have been in overalls, and I actually have one win on him, left-handed in an overall, but a blind luck. He was just goofing around, but yeah, nothing. Anything else, right? He just killed me.
Wow. All right, guys, this is the end of our show right here. It's just the last 2. I'm going to do 2 quotes. This is just an introduction to our new show we're going to be doing. I'm going to say the quote, and you guys are going to tell me who said that. You know, we only did 2 today, but next week we're going to have like 10 of them. So the first one that I have is this person said, who said, "Stand up, big gun," so I can bust that hand up?
Travis.
Damn, that was a quick one. Okay. And then this one is a real easy one, guys. Opener.
Devin as well.
Can I just say a shout out to Tony Tomlinson and the Orange County for sending me this? Can you guys see it?
Oh yeah. Oh nice. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, I want to shout out this weekend there, bro. At that Tony Tomlinson has a big event coming on this weekend, the second Sunday. They have a SoCal Fest. And the main event, a match, is my boy is Matt Craig is pulling Dallas Langston left hand, and I expect a war, guys. Because these guys legitly don't like each other. There's animosity between them. I know Matt was attacking Dallas. Dallas didn't want to have anything to do with the banter back and forth. He said he was going to handle it on the table. Matt took that personally. Matt is really living in the gym and just really focused on getting this win. So definitely, guys, check that out. I'm not sure where the live feed is. Ian, did they tell you where the live feed is for Tony Tomlinson's event?
No, I haven't found out yet, but I'll contact him and he'll let me know. But we should also wish Jerry Cataract real good luck. He's going to go up against Hermes, and then he's going to have his shot against Levon, and everybody should be supporting him on this side of the pond. And Jerry, there's only one guy that I would cheer against you, but you know why? He brought me into the sport. But other than that, you're my guy, and go out and kick ass.
Does Jerry remember what I told him about how to keep the strap tight?
I do.
Good. Perfect.
Nice. Jerry, you're gonna have to tell me when we're off air. I definitely want to hear that. And Bob, what I want to bring up to you, brother, before we call it a night is please, brother, I don't know if you need to get a camera guy or somebody to follow you around, but if there's anybody out there that's got some camera skills, you don't even need the camera skills, just somebody willing to hold the phone and let this man speak arm wrestling. Let's get this going, because Bob, I love your training videos that you put out. You describe everything so good. You really know your stuff. I've watched them all numerous times, but I just can't get enough, bro. There's no more of them out there, man. So please, if I can, just get you back on YouTube, brother.
I will say this. And this thing's gonna snowball, I think. So next year, 2024, June, July, and August, I plan on going on a nationwide tour of arm wrestling events, practices, seminars, whatever. I'm just at the very beginning phases of it. I put something out on Facebook today, and I've already had a lot of people say, Bob, what's it going to take for you to come here and do a seminar, come here to this practice? And so I might do some stuff earlier. And if I do that, all of that would obviously be videoed and in some manner.
What? I'm going to tell you right now, sign me up for the first one, bro. Please. I want to bring you in. You could choose. I got 3 places where I'm at. So New York, Cali, or Florida. I'd love to fly you in. Let's get a seminar going, bro. I'll get tons of people there. And, I'm like a sponge with you, bro. I love soaking up all the knowledge, man. I love what you teach and everything. So if you do something like that, like I said, bro, just put me on the list, man. I want to get that going 100%.
Would you come north, Bob? Would you come to Canada?
I'd go anywhere. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I went to Canada and trained with Devin for a while just to pick each other's brains, because Devin, I mean, I consider Devin technically one of the smartest arm wrestlers there is. I consider myself in that same category, and I enjoy having technical conversations with people like Devin. I'll bet Aaron Lingell. You know that name?
I know of them, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, another fantastic guy out of Canada, smart as a whip on a table. I love talking to guys like that, because everyone learns, So,
are you familiar with Troy?
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Okay, Troy to me is right up there as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people that are super technical on the table that can't teach it. There's lots of people that can teach it that can't perform it.
Yeah.
And myself, I feel like I can teach it pretty well. I used to be able to perform it real well. My arm is like a one-trick pony. I say my arm's a one-trick pony anymore, but it's a really good trick. And so, I just can't do what I used to do anymore. My joints are just falling apart.
Bro, I watch you beat the kid Austin Wade, dude, who this kid just goes and smashes everybody. And I was a little skeptical at first when I seen you take that match. I'm like, I don't know if he understands what a beast this kid Austin is. I might be surprised, but then to see you, bro, and just you just take away all his weapons and everything. It's just so technical. It's like you're like a real true master on the table, bro. And that's what I really appreciate.
Thank you.
Trying to emulate Jerry. I loved the fucking press, because I didn't really like, when we're new, we don't have the hand and wrist, but I had the arm, and I kept doing it, and guys kept saying, "Oh, one day someone's gonna blow your elbow out," and I didn't listen. And fuck, once I stopped, it happened to me. I blew my inside elbow, and then I had a regular arm wrestler.
Oh, we got a good super chat right here, $4.99 from Michael Layden Sr. He quote, "I know you can pin him, but I'm trying to teach you how to arm wrestle. That lives rent free in my head, Bob. Thanks for that. When Bob talks, listen." Thank you, Michael, for that. Really appreciate that.
There you go.
Hey, Bob, Mike should sponsor you. You're the face of his organization.
Say that again?
I said, Mike should sponsor your tour. You're the face of his organization.
Oh.
You're the face, so you're the most popular guy, huh?
Yeah, and here's the deal. A lot of people, I do want to say this because I don't want people to think Michael Todd isn't, taking care of me and things like that, because he's a great guy. And that is, I told him right from the jump, I'm like, look, financially I do pretty good. I do not mind being on an undercard to save money so he can get bigger names in there. And but he always treats me real good. Mike's always been a close friend, and I don't mind being on undercards. I know what my next match is probably going to be. I can't say it yet. I know the guy that I'm probably going to pull is going to want it to be a main card, so he gets paid to come. And if that's the case, so be it, and I'll just donate the money back.
That's very cool, Bob. Hell yeah. When are you guys going to be announcing that? Are you going to be announcing that soon?
I don't know, because the original date, I think, has got pushed back now. It's gotten pushed back a couple months. So he's waiting for his new facility to be done, is what I think is happening. Okay. And it's going to be an amazing facility.
Very nice.
Is it supposed to be able to host like all the athletes to sleep there and everything? That's just what I heard.
I'll let Mike answer that.
Yeah, I heard it's just some massive facility now.
So, but all right, guys, I guess that's it.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. Want to just thank everybody for coming on. Bob, wish you the best of luck in your big match coming up against Jamie Sheldon, and hope you guys sort out the round robin situation. Ian, I hope to see you back on the arm wrestling table soon, man. Would love to see you back in action.
I went back to a tournament about a month ago. I won it left and right, and so I'm feeling good. I had a training session today. I did a few rounds of the King of the Table. Did well there, and so I'm not awesome yet, but I'm coming.
Hell yeah. And Jerry, I want to wish you the best of luck. I mean, we'll be doing tons of interviews before your big match against Hermes, and love the great videos you've been putting out, guys. If you haven't already, go check out Jerry's YouTube channel. He's putting out amazing training videos, just insane. That's insane numbers. 61 bench pressing, 185-pound bicep curls. I mean, dude is
crazy
just
weight.
Nuts, bro. Freak show. Love it. Well, thank you guys for everybody coming on tonight. Arm Wrestling Buzz crew, Pradeep, Tom, Josh. Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much, Pradeep. I hope you liked that quiz, the trivia today. Hope it was a little better. And I'll see everybody next week. Next week, we got our guest will be the High Five crew from New Jersey. They got a big event coming up in August. We're going to let them talk all about that and kind of give their background and what they're trying to do in the arm wrestling world. That will be next week. So tune in, guys. And if you guys haven't already, click that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe. Have a great night, guys.
Take care.